We are live. What is up, everybody? Aaron the Dog and MMA Wagers here with another breakdown show, the PFL Championship 2022 edition. It's been an interesting PFL season. I will say that much. I definitely can say that I haven't been covering the whole season, which people probably noticed. I dropped out a few weeks in. I have been watching, however, and I decided that it'd be worth the breakdown show, especially with no other breakdowns this week. So they got lucky, but I've not been a big fan of this season of the PFL. Not to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but to call it predictable would be false. So it's definitely been all over the place. Thus, we have guys like Delano Taylor making it to the finals, Rob Wilkinson, others. So, what do you think about the season overall? How are you feeling about going into tonight?
Yeah, it's been kind of lackluster, but yeah, like you said, a lot of surprises. PFL signing these big UFC fighters really didn't pan out for them. I think they were really hoping Rory would make the playoffs, and who else? There's a couple UFC fighters that are really
Shoeface got injured.
Yeah, Antonio Carlos Jr. And we lost Shane Burgos as well on this card. It's just, this PFL season hasn't been the best, but I've still been cashing out on PFL cards, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of got sick of going top to bottom with it. It did get a little frustrating. But either way, we're here. We're covering the fights tonight. I definitely put in the research. It's a pretty good fight card. The prelims, not as good as they could be. Guys like Alvin Espinoza, I don't know what they're doing with him.
We interviewed him before.
Yeah, and other guys. I mean, they just seem to. I don't know if it's our channel or what it is, but Fernando Padilla, another guy we interviewed, who's just disappeared off the face of the earth for 2+ years now.
Yeah,
was supposed to face Sean Soriano, and then he didn't get a visa, and now he still doesn't have a visa, and no one even talks about it. But free Fernando Padilla. But either way. We're here. We're going to cover these as we are here. Moist Audio, and we are here. I'm not gonna hide it. Like I'm a little excited about this, but I'm not like super pumped about this. It's live from Madison Square Garden inside the little theater where they do the weigh-in show at the Hulu Theater. So it's not in Madison Square Garden. I'm not gonna cover an amateur bout on this channel. There's no reason for us to. It's an amateur bout. Muhammad Ali's grandson is taking on some guy named Tom Grasser. So, very excited there. He's 1-1. He's a failed high school football guy and does not look like he's related to Muhammad Ali, but that's okay. Tickets are down to $30, so he might go for the hell of it. And Anthony, talk about
with a lot of good people. Ali Walsh, with like Mads Burnell, Jeremy Kennedy at Extreme Couture. So he's getting really good training.
Yeah, but either way, amateur bout. So we're not going to cover that one. Nick saying he would go. I would definitely go for $30, man. Why not? Like it's avoid the shopping Black Friday. I would definitely go to that.
Yeah, if I was in the area, I'd definitely be going.
But first fight of the night, actually one of the ones I'm most excited about, and it's a 125 flyweight fight. Yes, flyweight in PFL because there's enough flyweights, I guess, in UFC. No. But either way, pretty good flyweight here in Dakota Dechava. Just vicious with her Muay Thai. Had the brutal knees we saw to the body in her debut. Taking on a pretty solid athlete in herself, although she's a little bit older, and Catherine Cora-Genius, I'm going to go with. She's training out of Phuket, Thailand, 33 years old. She's actually an AKA. She started in BJJ and also has had some Muay Thai. She's actually 3-0, but either way, 2-0, 3-0. When you're missing bouts from one side or another, it kind of lets you know the level of competition. Here, she's been able to kind of run over her opponents so far. Same with Dakota, although Dakota's faced a much higher level of opponents, been in UAE, training over in England. She's going to just walk through Catherine here, in my opinion. Catherine, I was watching an interview with JHK on the All Stars, great YouTube channel, really good interviews. And she just kind of said like the famous last words of a 2-0, 3-0 fighter, which is, I've walked through all of my opponents. I want to be in a fight. Dakota's going to give her a fight. Dakota is just sharper, better, quicker, younger. She's the real deal. Dakota should be in the UFC. I hate that she's in the PFL flyweight division, but they'll probably build the division and give her $1 million next year to get her to stay. So she's fine with it. Dakota's going to whoop her. And as Moise says, Dakota by murder, minus 350 to me is a great parlay piece because she's going to walk through Catherine.
Yeah, absolutely. Because she was minus 900 in her PFL debut. So
it showed it.
Yeah, she definitely did what she had to do. That clinch knee to the liver was nasty. Only 58 seconds into the fight. She's obviously getting better, training at American Top Team. She was training at Manchester Top Team, but since coming to the United States, she's at ATT, training with Kayla Harrison. We all know how good she is. Yeah, she's a Muay Thai fighter, Dakota, but it looks like her opponent, Catherine, is a grappler because she does have 2 submissions, a rear naked choke, and an armbar. So as long as Dakota can keep this standing, I believe she'll end up winning a decision or a knockout. Dakota's been more active. She already has a fight in the promotion. She's 4-0 as an amateur, 6-0 as a professional. She's young. Yeah, I like everything about Dakota here. I'm just worried about that, that sneaky submission that always happens in women's MMA fights.
Yeah, no, I mean, as I said, Catherine did start in jiu-jitsu, and now training over in AKA. Can't find a lot of her fights. That is a problem with Dakota. Hides her kicks behind her strikes, lethal. Moise is a big fan of her. I'm a big fan of her. Yeah, she's a real deal. I think Catherine gets her first loss here. Also, it's over a 9-year age difference here.
33 to 24,
and a 6-inch reach advantage for Dakota as well. So she uses those teep kicks really lethal as well. Like you see them in almost every fight, straight to the chest, like Valerie Laturdo took against who was that? Jojo?
Like, Usman Nurmagomedov has really good kicks like that too.
Yeah, it's a good way to keep the fight at the range you want. 6-inch reach advantage, younger, minus 350. Get on it. It's a good parlay piece, in my opinion. Zhang Li, yes, it's your first piece of your 5-piece parlay.
Yeah. And the time there?
We don't need a time for the first one, but for this one, it will be 7:20. Okay. So 7:20 for Magomedkerimov versus Gleison Tibau here. This is a PFL like consolidation fight. That's what this is. I'm not a big fan of betting Gleison Tibau fights at this point. Fights everybody very close. Not only does he fight people close, but he seems to be on the right end of the wrong decisions, aka when I bet against him, and the right end of the wrong decisions when I bet for him. So it's really hard for me here. I don't exactly know how healthy Magomedkerimov is at this point in his career. I get he had the finish of Delano in his last performance. So coming into this, it seems like this is pretty set up for Magomedkerimov. It was a second round knockout too, which I like to see. But I mean, before that, we saw him last year. He's just very inconsistent. And you just don't know what you're getting. But in a fight like this, I think it's going to be pretty, safe on both sides, and Magomed should take it. But Gleison makes fights way closer than they should be, and I'm not touching a minus 460 on Magomedkerimov.
Yeah. Well, Magomedkerimov, this is like a big welterweight versus a lightweight, if you think about it. Tibau, this is not his natural weight class, but he's made a home. This is his 5th PFL fight now, beating Rory McDonald and who was the other guy? Mika Terrell. Never heard of him, but
Micah Terrell, deer in headlights.
Yeah, that was a robbery. Rory won that fight, but it was closer than I thought. I actually wouldn't say it was a robbery. If you watch that back, watch every round, it wasn't as bad of a robbery as people said. But yeah, I've got Magomed already in parlays. He's 11-1 in PFL. He's got the youth on his side, 32. He should be in his prime still. He's got 11 knockouts, 10 submissions, 9 decisions. He can do it anywhere. The only way Gleison wins is by decision, and it's going to have to be a split, in my opinion.
Yep.
I don't see him dominating anywhere. He's got 9 decision losses, 6 unanimous, 3 split. He has 18 decision wins, 11 unanimous, and 7 split. So 7 times. It could have went the other way. He's 40, almost 40 at this point. I don't see much. I don't see how much more Gleason has to offer in the MMA game. And Magomed's still in his prime. I'm going to take Magomedkerimov by probably decision.
Yeah, and
I like the number too. I don't mind the odds.
Yeah, I don't love him, but that's fair enough. Maybe I'm just still bitter from the Ray Cooper fight last year, which I felt he came into very injured. So it's hard for me to trust him. But either way, minus.
Yeah, and he almost did beat Ray Cooper. He got.
Yeah, but either way, he's had a good run. I'm going to pass on it, but you're feeling good about it. Go ahead and put it in. We do agree on Magomedkerimov by decision. Next fight is at 155. This is probably my most confident favorite on the card, or close to it, besides Kayla. In at 10:45, Natan Schultz versus Jeremy Heathen Stevens. Now he refers to himself. He's no longer Lil Heathen. I guess now he's at 155. Like, how much more do we have to say about this? Jeremy Stevens has a puncher's chance if Natan Schultz walks forward, and is pretty damn reckless. Otherwise, I mean, Jeremy Stevens had a split decision with Miles Price last time out. Like, that's where we're at this point. Otherwise, he's losing to guys. I mean, period. It's just outwork. Natan Schultz, only 30 years old. He could easily be in the UFC, in my opinion, and do pretty damn well. Had a good bounce-back performance against Marcin Held, who he'd lost to previously. His previous 2 were split decisions. So a little bit of a worry, but Alex Martinez, I think, much more dynamic and a tougher matchup. Marcin Held had the grappling working for him the first time, as did Olivier Aubin. Never been knocked out. Not going to get knocked out now. He's been in there with good level of competition as well. Natan Schultz is just going to go in there, get in his kitchen, and take him down.
He's been knocked out.
Who is he knocked out by?
Yeah. It was a doctor stoppage in round 2. I think that was one of his first fights. It was never an actual knockout.
Yeah, never been knocked out then.
Yeah.
The Dagestani Bellator parlay came through last time. MMA Wagers. Indeed.
Oh yeah, buddy. That was like minus 125. It was a good hit.
It is what it is. Schultz defensive striking scares me too much for minus 400. I just think that the IQ oversteps the striking, that will get less and less effective by the minute for Jeremy Stevens. He has like 3 to 4 minutes to knock him out. And after that, he's going to be nearly useless, in my opinion. So I like Natan Schultz by decision.
Yeah, you and I are pretty much on the same page here. I also think Jeremy Stevens only has a puncher's chance. He does have 19 knockouts on his record. One of those knockouts being to RDA, who he never should have knocked out, but he's Little Heathen, man. He goes in there and he wants blood. He wants to knock people out. I've heard him in interviews. He sounds very motivated, but he always does in every fight. He does have a knockout chance. He's got he's tied for the second most knockdowns landed in the UFC. He's got the 5th most fights in UFC featherweight history, 5th most knockout wins in UFC featherweight history. He's got the most knockdowns landed in UFC featherweight history. So yeah, Jeremy Stevens has definitely made a name for himself in the MMA game. But he's just getting older now, getting slower. I don't see him really putting up a fight against Natan Schultz. Natan Schultz better everywhere except for the power department. Natan Schultz is still in his prime, only 30. He's got 11 wins in PFL, only 2 losses coming to Ahmedov, and 1 split to the tournament challenger, Olivier Aubin Mercier. So those are very good opponents. I don't rank
grapplers.
Both grapplers too. Yeah, I think this is a tailor-made matchup for Natan Schultz, and he should just roll through here. He's already on a few parlays of mine from last week.
Yeah, he's gonna be the second piece of the parlay. I'm not overthinking this. I will say, buyer beware. A few times this year, specifically with PFL, I've had matchups like this where I felt they were very tailor-made to one opponent, and Bruno Capolosa happened versus Matthias Scheffel. And we'll talk about tonight. But the fact that I'm even considering Scheffel to win $1 million is scaring me, because I looked at that guy when the season started. I was like, that guy's definitely not winning. So again, I'm not going over the board with any of these, but Natan Schultz is my favorite other than Kayla on the card.
And you can easily hedge bet Jeremy Little, Heathen Stevens by knockout. I'm looking up the odds now to win by knockout plus 800. So you don't have to put much on that line.
There you go. I think that's what you do if you're worried about the defensive striking, as Nick mentioned. Next fight, it's listed on Tapology at 135. I spoke with a few people. I'm seeing 145. Do you know 15:18 is the time?
This is 145. Oh, wow. It does say 135. I don't know.
But it's at 145 we're going to go with. So 15:18 for Shaman Moraes.
In the time?
15:18.
Okay, sorry.
And so Shaman Moraes, Marlon Moraes, Battle of Moraes. Unfortunately, Shane Burgos had to pull out. Otherwise, he would be knocking out Marlon Moraes. Now Marlon Moraes has a chance against Shaman Moraes, period. Shaman Moraes has terrible striking defense. Marlon Moraes cutting 10 less pounds. We've seen Marlon Moraes hurt really good guys before losing in each of his losses, really. So can Shaman stand up to that fire? In my opinion, no. I think Marlon's going to have a huge speed advantage. He's going to come in here without having to be tested by USADA. So I have a little extra pop on the punches, which won't surprise me at all. 10 less pounds to cut. Shaman Moraes, Marlon Moraes, they've been at it before as well. Marlon winning the first time around. Marlon 23-10. I get it. He's lost 4 straight, but Rob Font, Corey Sandhagen, Divashvili, Song Yadong. It's been wicked damage he's taken in those fights, and he has not taken a lot of time off. He only took 8 months off, but still, that's what makes you nervous. Obviously, the first time around with Shaman Moraes with World Series of Fighting, he did use the grappling. I don't expect, the grappling to be used here, but the grappling is in Marlon's advantage as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm not hitching on to a ton of Marlon Moraes here either, but I got to go with him over Shaman. He's a superior Moraes. Speed advantage, good power, and jiu-jitsu advantage.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to say caution tape around this fight for sure.
100%.
Yeah, don't load up your bankroll up on this fight. Shaman coming in short notice. He has already lost to Marlon Moraes by submission, rear naked choke in round 3. Shaman's been knocked out twice to Andre Feely and Brendan Loughnane. Both of those were under 3 minutes. And Marlon Moraes has 10 knockout wins under 3 minutes. So if he starts off fast here like he usually does, I think he can put Shaman away. But as the fight progresses, I got Shaman maybe finding the timing and putting it on Marlon in round 2. Shaman, most of his finishes do come in round 2, 5 out of 14. So I got Marlon Moraes early. If he doesn't finish Shaman, I think Shaman will end up knocking him out in round 2 or winning a decision.
Yeah, they're trying to trick people into hitching on to Marlon Moraes here. Plus 115. The bait is out there.
He's the underdog, eh?
He's the underdog. Exactly. That's they know exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what they want. Is everybody to see the plus number next to Marlon and be like, it's okay. We're going to forget the ground and pound finish. We're going to forget the wheel kick finish. These aren't just finishes that Marlon. These are career, life-changing type of finishes.
And he's coming out of retirement.
Yeah, to fight up 10 pounds. Yes, he beat this guy a million years ago. But and then locker room stopped by to show support, about to smoke a backward and get on the heavy bag. Attaboy in the locker room. Go ahead. Appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, I got Marlon. I don't feel good about it. About it at all, and I'm not going to put much money on it. Plus 115, minus 140 on Shaman Moraes. It's just it's like when you watch a reality show. I watch some with my girlfriend sometimes, and you watch both sides arguing. You're like, oh, they're both wrong. Like they're both bad people. This fight, they're both wrong. Like there's not a right side. Congratulations if you make a couple dollars off this. But yeah, Marlon Moraes is my pick.
Yeah, I can't even say a confident in this one.
Yeah, and Tapology doesn't even care enough to make it at the right weight class yet.
Yeah.
But next fight, this is a fight I really care about. We're at 1938. Matthew, good to see you, my man. It is good to see you, dude. Good to see Matthew. So, yeah, 1938 for Omari Ahmedov versus Rob Wilkinson. This is a fight I have looked into as much as any fight on this fight card. Preseason, I did bet on Rob Wilkinson to win the light heavyweight division. So far, he's looked really good, beating up some underwhelming Brazilians. Bruce Sato, I less than rate. And the fact that he was so closely lined in that fight, I loaded up on it and banked to high heaven. Then there was the Delano fight. I was a little nervous with that. I didn't like what I saw in that fight, to be honest. Even though it was a 3-minute knockout, really impressive knee combination finish out cold. What's there not to like? Moist is going to know what I'm going to say, and other people might if they've done a little tape here. Overhand right. Rob Wilkinson takes too many damn overhand rights. Happened against CR Bahar, Prince CR back in the UFC days. You would think after time off and everything, he corrected it. Delon landed 3 to 4 heavy rights. Really did rock and stagger Rob. I think if Omari lands those same type of shots and transitions to grappling, he's going to give Rob a lot of problems early. I think Rob can very much survive that storm. Kind of the same question I was asking with Shaman Moraes earlier. I think early on we're sweating maybe a live hand or a live bet over opportunity here. And yes, Moise, I'll give you credit. Yes, overhand is right. I know Moise is very much on Omari. Omari has looked excellent at this weight class. I love this weight class for him. He looks very, very strong and just looks like he has a little more gas. This is 5 rounds. It's a championship fight that does play in Rob's favor as this goes. Can Omari build up too much of a lead? Maybe. Can Omari land that right hand and put Rob away? Rob's been put away in both of his losses, albeit to Israel Adesanya and CR. I think the takedowns are there for Omari. Round 1, Omari at plus 900, I really do like. Maybe there's an under 2.5 for him number out there as well that I would think about. Because I think after the 2.5 mark, Rob gets into his groove and really starts to land. It might happen before then. Rob has really good counters. Good knees, good takedown defense. He's much more than natural light heavyweight, even though Omari is strong. I mean, I bet Rob preseason. I've liked what I've seen. The holes are still there. Delon showed him, but I think that Delon fight, Rob knew he was winning. And I know that's not a good way to go into a fight, but he was going to walk through anything Delon had that night, eat it like a cookie. And as soon as after that third kind of shot, the right hand, you almost saw Rob just be like, we're done here. And he just moved forward, finished. He's not going to be able to do that in this fight by any means, nor do I think he thinks he can do that. I think Rob's ready for this. I've really liked what I've seen out of him since coming back from the retirement of the UFC, which he was cut too soon from there. They could have had a Jack Della at 205, frankly. I do think that Rob's got his toughest fight ahead of him since his UFC run, but I'm going with Rob, man. I think that he pours it on him. 3rd, 4th round TKO finish.
Nice. I didn't even know you could bet on the fighters to win the championship at the beginning of the year.
Yep, a few bucks had it, fortunately. So yeah, I
what were Rob's odds at the beginning?
Plus 13 or plus 12? Plus 12.
Damn. Okay. Good stuff, man. And now you can hedge even.
Fair enough. Yeah, exactly. Fair enough. I mean things Amari. I get the people on Amari, man. I just love me some Rob.
Another Dagestani here. Rob Wilkinson. I think he's the most. I think he's just the biggest star of this year. I think, not the biggest star, the biggest what's it called?
Breakout star.
Yeah, breakout star. That's right. I agree. Yeah, I forgot all about him, man. He had 2
both these guys, frankly, in a 205 division. UFC could use both these guys.
Yeah, for sure. Omari is showing a lot of new wrinkles too. He did lose his PFL debut to Jordan Young. Rest in peace. He lost by knockout in round 3. He actually has lost a lot of times in round 3, man. So like you said,
out of gas.
He runs out of gas bad. He's lost by 3 knockouts. Sergio Moraes, who's a grappler. Elizo Zaleski dos Santos in round 3, and then Jordan Young. He's lost by 2 guillotines in round 2 and to Gunnar Nelson in round 1. 2 decision losses, 1 unanimous to Chris Weidman, and 1 split to Brad Tavares. and he had a draw with Marvin Vettori. So he has a lot of he's definitely more seasoned than Rob Wilkinson, but I just like Rob Wilkinson's game. He looks so smooth on the feet. Once he gets his rhythm going, I think he's going to be able to piece up Omari. He's got the reach advantage, the height advantage. I'm just worried about that early knockout. He has been knocked out twice to Sayer. I can't pronounce
Prince Sayer is what I call him.
Prince Sayer, and that was in his UFC debut. He also lost to Israel Adesanya in round 2. Okay. And these are both in round 2. Omari doesn't finish people in round 2. He finishes people in round 1. So, yeah, I got Wilkinson here as well. I wish I knew about those odds at the beginning of the season. I probably would have picked him. The light heavyweight division really isn't that stacked.
He was like minus 120 against Bruce Sauto.
Yeah, that's crazy. And he finished Bruce Sauto in round 2. He's training out of Factory X Muay Thai with James Krause, who's under heat right now. But yeah, ever since he's
Factory X or Glory?
Factory X. It says Factory X Muay Thai, but
well, that's not where James Krause is at.
Or sorry, is that Mark Montoya?
Yeah, Mark Montoya.
Yeah, Mark Montoya. Sorry, Mark Montoya. So yeah, he's in really good hands. Yeah. And yeah, so I got Rob as long as he weathers that an early storm. But Omari did just beat Conan Silveria's son by decision, but Silveria came in short notice for that fight, so maybe that's why he beat him. If Silveria had a full camp there, could have been a different story. So yeah, I think me and you are pretty much on the same page on this fight as well.
Unfortunately, the odds agree with me. Way too much. Minus 225 on Rob Wilkinson. That makes me happy as a Rob Wilkinson fan, but from a betting perspective, that's rough. Tough. Plus 180 on Omari. I get it, guys. Let's wait to live bet this because maybe Rob loses the first round or first 2 rounds and starts to mount a little bit of a comeback. So
yeah, he opened as a minus 115.
As what?
He opened as a minus 115. It was a pick'em as the lines opened.
I wonder if there's injury that's not being spoken about on the.
Yeah, maybe.
Because Omari has had some durability issues at times, and for the number that gets steamed that high on a fight that I personally, as a Rob Wilkinson fan, had very close, that is suspicious.
Yeah. Parlay piece, though. I'd throw him in a few parlays.
Yeah, I'll put him in a few parlays as well. We're on to the welterweights here at 27-25. Delano Taylor taking on Sabau Sai here. This is a really, really good fight, even though it's not the fight we expected at welterweight. Sabau Sai is a technician. He can do 10 rounds of kickboxing, keeping his distance and really kind of point fighting his opponent here. Delano has some really special tools and really good, particularly his power. And able to cut off the cage in ways that I think can surprise people. For me, I think Sabau Sai is going to, be able to have some success at times in this fight. I think really using the leg body kicks, just overall his kickboxing Muay Thai skills here. But Delano's going to come in heavy and going to come in very hungry to this one. 25 years old. He's entering that absolute prime. Coming off that win over Rory McDonald in his last fight, I think that Delano is going to be really, really aggressive and assertive in this fight. I don't think that he can afford to just sit back and trade shots with Sabau because Sabau will get into that rhythm. Sabau is extremely hittable too. He does that tall man defense a lot, and Delano covers a surprising amount of distance on a lot of his shots. I think he's going to surprise Sabau some point along the way. I could easily see him down a couple rounds before getting it, but Delano Taylor is my pick in this fight. I think he's just a hungrier guy. I think he is not going to keep this a technical kickboxing fight. If so, Sabau is going to look like a minus 400. I think Delano is going to mix it up with some clinch, mix up at least with initiating some grappling, and I think the power can track down Sabau as he goes here. It's got a really good corner as well at ATT. And Delano Taylor likes being an underdog. He is just one of those fighters I think thrives in it. And I think Sabau is getting way overrated by a few opponents who played right into his game. Maybe Delano does the same thing, but I got Delano by KO, round 3.
You got Delano Taylor. Okay. Delano Taylor, yeah, he's another breakout star. All his all his fights in PFL, he's came in short notice. So this is his first fight. He'll actually have a full camp behind him. And he's won every single fight. He beat João Zeferino, he lost to Magomedkerimov, but then he beat Rory McDonald by a knockout. And Sadibou C, I believe, is the most improved fighter in the PFL. Like, when he first started, I thought he was a scrub. Like, he was not that good. And now he's like he's just improved leaps and bounds. He's beating Rory McDonald now. He's beating Russians like Alexei Kunchenko. He's beating Nikolai Alexikin. Something like that. Yeah.
Carlos Leo, that Carlos Leo fight, this could look a lot like, for sure.
Carlos Leo as well. Yeah. Another really good
on short notice.
Yeah. And Leo was deducted 1 point in that fight, but he would have won anyways, even if he didn't get deducted the point. He's training out of Extreme Couture now since moving to the US, getting a lot of good looks. His record isn't the prettiest, but it's because he's faced so many good opponents. And when he first entered the PFL, he was very green. So, yeah, I think people underestimate him because they don't think they think he's the same as he was when he first entered the PFL. But man, this guy has improved so much. I like Sadibou C here. He's 10 years older, so it's now or never for him. I think he's just going to out kickbox, outpoint Delano Taylor, and probably end up winning a unanimous decision. Both these guys are fighting for the first time, 5 rounds, I believe. Or no, Delano Taylor was the former Titan FC champion. Right. He had 1 successful title defense too. So yeah, he's been scheduled for 5-round fights. And Sadibou C has no championships. He has Muay Thai and kickboxing championships, but no MMA. So yeah, it might get into it might be a little hairy, or once it gets into deep waters, it might get a little worrisome. But Sadibou C, I just think he's better. He's the better striker. Delano Taylor does come from Killcliff FC with Jason Jackson, so that's saying a lot.
Killcliff, not ATT, my fault.
Isn't he from Killcliff?
Yeah, I said ATT earlier. I was just
sorry, yeah, Killcliff FC, and Taylor's been knocked out 3 times to Roman Feraldo, who bit us in the ass last week, and Magomedkerimov, and he lost by knockout to Thod Jean as an amateur. So he has been knocked out a couple times. C has been knocked out twice as well by spinning back fist in round 1, and to Franca, I think Glaico Franca in round 3. But that was when he wasn't as good. He's gotten a lot better. So yeah, Sadibou C for me.
Fair enough. Currently at a minus 180, plus 155 on Delano Taylor. He is my first dog I am taking that I feel confident on. I'll have Moraes, the other one. So we do disagree there. Fair disagreement. Totally get it. Next fight. This one is a little bit of a thinker. It's a 155 championship. Stevie Ray making the appearance, not Anthony Pettis. We're at 30-58. Stevie Ray versus Olivier Aubin Mercier here. It's an interesting fight. Olivier Aubin Mercier, the Canadian gangster here, 16-5 coming into this one. Been on a little bit of a run, winning his last 5 straight over very good level of opponents since getting cut from the UFC, being Marcin Held, Daryl Horcher, which Daryl Horcher is what it is, Natan Schultz, Rauch Monfio, and Alex Martinez. He was fortunate enough to be able to make the finals without getting a finish. He's got 5 decisions. This guy is looking to stay out of damage first and get position. And if he wins that way every time, he's got no problem with it. It is going to be 5 rounds now. So that could be interesting. Stevie Ray has suffered from the grappling at times, but has won 2 straight, being able to beat Anthony Pettis 2 straight times. Rate that how you will. He got the twister on him last time. He's been doing some grappling as well, beating Paddy Pimblett in Polaris. He's a competent grappler, very good on the feet as well. To me, I'm a little bit worried about his willingness to grapple with Aubin Mercier in this fight, because I think that would be a big mistake. I think he's really got to look to push the striking, and I'm just, not super confident in that for Stevie. The price is pretty crazy here, but also, I just think Oben's going to do what he's been doing his last 5, get another decision win, using the wrestling and staying out of trouble on the feet. So I got Stevie Ray to lose a decision, I should say. So Oben Mercier by decision.
Yeah, this might be one of my favorite fights on the card.
Good one.
Yeah, my homeboy OAM. Oh, the mic's going crazy there for a second. OAM. Yeah, he's these guys have actually trained together at TriStar, so they're familiar with each other. I think Oliver Mercier knows what he's in for. Got to defend those submissions, have like a Khabib Nurmagomedov type game plan. Grind him out 5 rounds. Stevie Ray has been submitted in round 4, so we know Oliver Mercier has really good conditioning. I don't think he's ever been 5 rounds, but every time he ends a 3-round fight, it looks like he can go another 3 rounds. He's only lost to very good opposition, Carlos Diego Ferreira. Well, Alexander Hernandez, not the best. Gilbert Burns and Armin Tsukian. And 1 split to Chad Laprise for the Ultimate Fighter finale. I guess you could put Stevie Ray in. I don't know. You can't really put Stevie Ray in those fighters' names. Like
Chad Laprise, you could.
Yeah, Chad. That was his UFC debut. He was only he was really young, but yeah, he's 5-0 in PFL now. Stevie Ray 2-1 in PFL, losing to who'd he lose to? Alex Martinez, who Oliver Mercier beat. So I know MMA math doesn't work, but yeah, I like Oliver here as well. As long as he doesn't get submitted. CV's a very crafty submission artist. He's lost by 2 knockouts to Felder in round 1. He's lost by 4 submissions. He's lost by 4 decisions. So yeah, he has looked good though this year. He's beaten Pettis twice. Yeah, I like OAM's overall game. They're familiar with each other. I think OAM's gonna have Firas Zahabi in his corner, and he's just been on a roll, man. He's like a ball of energy. He looks like a short, stocky tank, and yeah, I think he's just going to steamroll Stevie Ray here as long as he can defend those submissions and gather up control time.
Yeah, I think he will. I think that Stevie's willingness to grapple bites him in the ass hugely here. Open minus 360 plus 295 on Stevie Ray. Third piece in the parlay for me is Open Mercier for Zhang Li. But move on to the next one. Hopefully it's a good fight. Next one, I don't have a whole lot to say about this fight. I don't know why it's on the main card, other than that they want to show off Aspen Ladd for some reason. 145 Aspen Ladd versus Julia Budd. Julia Budd has not looked like Julia Budd in years. She's not very impressive anymore. She's very over the hill. She's trained by her boyfriend, Lance Gibson Sr., who looks like he hasn't been training actively for quite some time. It's at 37-45. And Aspen Ladd also hasn't looked very impressive. She can be losing to girls like Yana Kunitskaya and then kind of turn it on and be able to salvage performances, but has had trouble with weight, trouble with her aggression in fights also, even when she does make weight. Norma Dumont versus her was one of the worst fights ever. Maybe she goes in there and freezes again. I don't know. Maybe she feels more free. I don't know. I'm not paying to find out. I'll take Aspen Ladd to win by decision, but I'm not put too much money on this one. Julia Budd I think is completely done. Yeah,
she's 39 at this point. Former Bellator champion. She's lost 2? No, she only has lost 1 out of 4 fights, but
not impressive in the wins either, though.
No, Deanna Silva split decision. Jessie Mealy, one of the worst woman fighters on the circuit right now. Caitlin Young, not a good fighter either.
No.
This is a huge step up for Julia Budd. Aspen Ladd just fought Raquel Pennington. Had a decent fight with her, went 29-28.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, she struggles making weight. Is this 145 or 155?
I believe it's at 145, but maybe it's at 155. Yeah. Either way, we've seen Aspen at 155 before. It doesn't help her.
No,
it was her worst performance.
Yeah. If it's 145, she's comfortable there. She's never gonna make 135 again.
Yeah, I should say 145 was her worst performance against Norma.
against, did she miss weight too in that one?
Yeah.
No, Lad, she did come in short notice. You can give her a little bit of a leeway on that, but and she actually one judge had it 48-47. I think she got her grappling going in the later rounds. But she also has a brother that fights in MMA as a heavyweight. She has family surrounded in the MMA game. She's got she's 4-3 in the UFC, 5-0 in Invicta. She has a 8-0 kickboxing record, but she's better at grappling. So she's definitely a overall good MMA fighter. Julia Budd, like you said, she might be on her way out here. Approaching 40 years old, Muay Thai style. Her stepson actually fights in Bellator, Lance Gibson. Just that Gina Fabian fight really showed me where she is right now. And if that Julia Budd shows up against Aspen Ladd, then Ladd's just going to have her way with her.
Yeah, I agree. -225 on Ladd, +190 on Budd. Good luck if you want to bet on that fight. I'm passing on it, but Aspen Ladd would be my pick.
Yeah, it's so strange. That's on the main card.
Yeah, just dead it in the middle of they're asking you to pay 50. They're asking you to pay. I don't know how much is the pay-per-view, but
$49.99.
They're asking you to pay $50 to watch Aspen Ladd versus Julia. And then they're asking you to follow it up with the anti-Delija versus Matthias Scheffel.
Oh God. Yeah,
we're at 41.
Wanted.
Yeah, we're at 41-14. Matthias Scheffel, I'll give him credit, man. He's seriously improved from the Contender Series. I have to give him credit for that. 2 straight wins coming into this, Bruno Capoloza and then Juan Adams. Juan Adams had a ton of success early and then fell off of a cliff. Just fell off of a cliff. Matthias is a survivor. He's very tough. First time around with anti-Delija, the chin didn't hold up. Anti-Delija put him away in round 2. He's been put away in all of his losses except for one, which was a split decision. The rest have been by KO to guys like Rodney Wallace, Clinton Abreu, Flavio Majan, Thiago Verajao, who was 20-2, John Allen in the first round, former UFC guy. Acacio de Santos was the split decision. Azamat Mirzakhanov on the Contender Series. And then he's, when he's tough, he can survive. Like the Bruno fight, he can survive. Juan, he was able to finish. And just realize it's going to be less for him to go live than watch the event on TV. Yeah, Nick, your decision's made.
That's hilarious.
That is very funny. Yeah, man, I think Delija just catches him again, puts him away first or second round. But Matthias is tough, and he does have the cardio advantage, even though he looks like he shouldn't. And Delija has been known to fumble the bag from time to time. With this one, it seems that it's Delija who's going to get the KO again. He's KO'd him once this year. It's hard for me to predict that Matthias has been KO'd 6 other times, doesn't get KO'd here, including by the guy who's already KO'd him once. It was a pretty vicious KO, too. Mm-hmm. Even if Matthias survives, I don't know what he does to win this fight over 5 rounds. So unless Delija falls off a cliff, Juan Adams style or Bruno Capoloza style, which both guys, Bruno especially, seemed like a surefire for me. I did pick Juan Adams as well, even though it was short notice. This is full camp. Anti-Delija knocks him out again, right?
I believe so. Like, that was only this year, April 28th. So
right.
It hasn't been that long.
7 months ago.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got his number. Scheffel, I can't believe Bruno didn't beat him. Like, Bruno
Insane. Has one of my most shocking upsets of the year.
Yeah, it's got to be, because being knocked out 6 times and you're going up against one of the most vicious knockout artists in the promotion, it just didn't make sense.
And so many people afterwards seemed to know that Scheffel was going to win that fight. I don't know where they were before the fight, because Bruno was -500, and I still said to put into parlays. I'll never forget that fight.
Yeah, that hurt. And it was 29-28. Bruno did get around, but Scheffel ended up getting the win.
He survived.
Scheffel, 4th fight in the PFL, just making his PFL debut this year. Delija has been in the PFL 3 years. This is going to be his 9th PFL fight. I believe he's fought for the tournament championship last year, and he lost to Bruno by a unanimous decision. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is his second attempt. I believe he gets it done this time. He's only lost by 3 knockouts in round 2 really early in his career. One of them was to Marcin Tybura by a leg injury, and that was for a championship. And then to Bruno Capoloza in 46 seconds. Most people are going to get knocked out by Bruno. So yeah, I just don't see Scheffel knocking him out here or winning by a decision. And Ante already has beaten him by a vicious knockout, like you said. And he's on a roll this year. He hasn't lost. He's beaten Mateus Scheffel, Shelton Graves, and Henan Ferreira. So yeah, he's just been looking better and better. And he's training with I don't really know where he's training right now, but he's from Croatia. Yeah, I'm going Ante Delija for sure. I'd be really surprised if Scheffel can pull this off. Getting a win against Juan Adams doesn't impress me much.
Short notice, Juan Adams.
That was short notice, Juan Adams. Yeah, and it took him round 3 to finally get
Juan Adams was having a ton of success in that fight.
Yeah. So the only thing that just sticks out to me is him beating Bruno. If he didn't beat Bruno, I'd be loading up on Ante Delija, but I think Bruno just dropped the ball in that one. I think he underestimated Scheffel.
I also think Bruno had some pretty bad injuries going into that. Yeah, Delija at -250 is my fourth piece in the parlay.
Yeah, good odds actually. I don't mind.
Really good odds. I think they're going to be closer to 400 by fight night. Plus 210 on Matthias. I've been waiting to fade this guy again. Anti's going to do it again for me, I think. So
yeah.
On to the co-main event now. It is the 145 division. Most shit talk of any of the divisions. 46.07 for Brendan Loughnane versus Bubba Jenkins. These guys are chirping back and forth at each other. I think this is going to be a really interesting, good fight. A lot of these fights, the championship fights, seem to be setting up for the guy who I'm kind of don't view as a favorite having success early, and then can they keep it going? Can they keep that pace going? With Bubba Jenkins, can he wrestle Brendan Loughnane for 5 rounds? I think he can. Brendan Loughnane has, they showed against the Mavalid fight, another fight where the grappling really became a big part of it for Mavalid, who, isn't nearly the same sort of aggressive, assertive wrestler as someone like Bubba Jenkins. On the feet, though, this isn't close. Brendan Loughnane is just so much more diverse, quick, precise on the feet, has way better cardio ability to go 5 rounds on the feet. Bubba just has that same ability in the grappling. So which side do you like? I've been back and forth on this one, but I got to go with not the guy I want to win, but the guy I think wins in Bubba Jenkins. I think Bubba just is able to get that control and keep that control. And it's going to be close. It's going to be maybe a split even, wouldn't surprise me. It's going to be 3 rounds to one, 2 rounds to the other guy. There's going to be moments where Loughnane keeps it on the feet, has some success. There's going to be moments where Jenkins is just able to get the Hulu Theater to start booing because I think they want to see Brendan win. He has a more pleasing style, but I think Bubba's got the wrestling chops to get this done. I think he knows this is his $1 million chance. I don't think he is sure he's going to have another one, seeing how guys like Lance Party Pants Palmer and other guys kind of fall off at this kind of age that Bubba's at. He's not going to knock him out, that's for sure. Him saying he's going to knock out Brendan Loughnane is hilarious. But this is a business trip, as he said, and in business trips, we see wrestling, and Bubba's going to have to keep his wrestling shoes on. It's a close fight. I think both guys have a real chance, but I'm going Bubba by decision.
Nice. All right. Yeah, I think this goes all 5 rounds as well. If there is a finish, it will be Brendan Loughnane, in my opinion. Definitely the most impactful fight of both their careers. A lot's on the line here. Brendan Loughnane has just been looking better and better, man. He did have that sketchy decision over that Chinese guy, Kudo. If you remember that, it was stopped in round 3. Yeah, that
Kudo looked terrible in this next fight.
Yeah, so I don't know how Kudo got in on Brendan Loughnane. He just found his timing in that fight, but Loughnane still got the decision win. Last year, he lost to Mavlid Kubalayev by split decision. That really could have went either way. There was arguments for Brendan to that he won that, but did Mavlid end up winning the championship? Or let me double check.
Pretty sure he did.
Yeah, because that was the semifinal. So
yeah, it was again the wrestling, the grappling that edged it out for Mavlid.
Yeah, exactly. And Mavlid couldn't make the tournament this year. I remember that. So yeah, this is probably one of my favorite fights on the card. Loughnane, 4 decision losses. 3 of them were split actually to Tom Duquesnoy. Pat Healy and Tomovlid, and then Mike Wilkinson in his UFC debut. So yeah, this guy doesn't lose often, and when he does lose, it's in very, very close fights. I like what I've seen from Brendan all year, except for that Kudo fight. But Chris Wade, he dominated, man. That was probably his best fight.
Very true.
Yeah, probably best fight he's ever had. Bubba Jenkins, 19-5, 5-1 in PFL, only losing to Bagov, I think. Ali Bagov, is it? Or no, he lost to Chris Wade. Sorry, he lost to Chris Wade. Right. That was last year. Yeah, this is going to be a closely contested fight. I just think Brendan Loughnane has faced this puzzle multiple times already in Chris Wade and Tyler Diamond, these wrestle boxing fighters. I think he can, fend off the takedowns, keep it in his realm. His striking is obviously better than Bubba's. So yeah, I think Brendan can edge this out over the long haul and win a maybe, yeah, like you said, 3-2 type of decision.
Yeah, fair enough. And Delija is my fifth piece of my parlay, by the way, Zhang Li. I am going to go with the plus 155 Bubba Jenkins here, minus 180 on Brendan Loughnane. Yeah, it's going to be a close fight and very, very good fight. So I'm glad that is the co-main event. I'm fine with it. Main event time, Kayla Harrison, Larissa Pacheco, 3. Kayla Harrison, 15-0, 18-4 for Pacheco. Pacheco, the only one with a remote chance of beating her. So far, 2 straight times that they've gone against each other. Decision in both of the fights. So Pacheco, the best thing you can say is she's surviving, which is better than every other girl is doing. Pacheco has good hands. She has good power. If she's beating Kayla, it's going to be by knockout. If she knocks her out, it's one of the biggest upsets in women's fighting history.
Up there with Holly Holm.
Yeah, it's not quite there probably from a numbers perspective, but I think overall it is pretty damn close. I could see Pacheco having some moments, but it's just Kayla Harrison's world. We're just living in it. Kayla Harrison, I think she'll get a submission finish in the 5 rounds. I think she'll find that arm triangle probably after mounting and getting some ground and pound done. So I'll take Kayla Harrison by TKO. So the prop game of figuring out which prop to play with Kayla, I'll take the TKO prop. She's minus 700 right now, which is the closest her odds have ever been in the PFL, plus 475 on Larissa Pacheco. I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's never been under a minus 1,000 favorite.
She probably won't buy Fight Night for this one either, but right now she is.
Yeah. So I'm going to have her interesting. Yeah, which is interesting because she was favored higher in those past Larissa fights. So the odds makers obviously see something in Larissa that she has more of a chance than last time. But she's not even fighting the best woman fighters like Gina Fabian, Helena, that Ukrainian twice, Julia Pacheco, who I think made her MMA debut in that fight.
Yeah, I think she also had a fight with a bouncer on YouTube you can watch if that's the same woman. I think.
Yeah, that's her. That is her. Yeah.
And also it was 51-48 was when we started. If I didn't say
okay, yeah, I got it.
But yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like you fight someone enough, do you eventually get comfortable and figure out how to keep in your realm? That's the argument, I guess, here with Pacheco, who has not been finished by Kayla. And that has to be in Kayla's head, too.
Yeah, but she has like 50-43 to her. Like,
she dominates her. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Like you said, she has a knockout chance. I'm going to have Kayla in my parlays. I don't know if she gets the finish or a decision, so I'm just going to parlay her straight. And then I'm going to hedge bet Larissa by knockout because those are going to be stupid odds. Yep. Let me see. Wins by knockout plus 1,000. So, yeah, easy hedge bet. And Kayla Harrison still undefeated, 14-0 in PFL. I don't think she's doing the season next year. She's just going to fight in big name fights. So this is her last $1 million tournament championship. I think she gets the job done again. Rinse and repeat. 50-45 again. And yeah, still your PFL champion. Like I just don't see Larissa.
I don't
like after she only wins in round 1. Like that's once it gets out of round 1, it's gonna be all Kayla Harrison.
Kayla knows how to take down Larissa Pacheco. She's been in there 8 rounds with her already. So yeah, 6 piece of the parlay bonus Zhang Li, add Kayla Harrison. And so we'll just quickly go through the quick picks, and then we'll just wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving here in America. 54-50 for quick picks. Starting, we're both going with Muhammad Ali's grandson, but that's not an official pick. Dakota Dechava versus Catherine Cora-Genius. We're going with Dakota Dechava. I got her by KO.
Yeah, most likely KO.
All right, Magomedkerimov is going to be in a close, greasy decision with Gleison Tibau. Run.
Yeah, one of my most confident, Magomedkerimov by decision.
That's good. I'm not confident here. One of my most confident, though, is Natan Schultz. He's going to just probably decision out Jeremy Stephens.
Yeah, I agree. This is another one of my most confident, Natan Schultz. And hedge bet Jeremy Stephens by knockout because he does have 19 knockouts. If he finds that chin, it's over.
Yeah, from most confident to least confident, I got Marlon Moraes by KO here. Round one. Super unconfident here. 145 grossness.
Yeah, just looking at this fight, I'm just shaking my head. I don't know. I'm going to go my knockout round two.
Oh, wow. I don't know. That is good.
Why not?
Analysis. Now the start of the $50 pay-per-view. Rob Wilkinson versus Ahmedov. I've been believing in Razor Rob all year. Avoid the right hand, and it is in the first 7 minutes, and it's yours, Rob. Third round TKO.
Yeah, breakout star for me, Rob Wilkinson. I'm going to go with the 16-2 Australian.
Nice. Next one, the one that maybe it's so obvious. I look past the obviousness, but I think Delano Taylor is going to solve the matrix that is the Sabau Sai kickboxing class. And break it, mix it up, make it an MMA fight, and eventually catch that chin and put him away by KO, Delano Taylor.
Okay. Sabau Sai is an enigma. Like, he's like Stephen Thompson. So if Delano Taylor can solve that puzzle, good on him, but I'm going to go Sai to get that unanimous decision.
Fair enough. I have no problem there. 155, I am going the obvious route with Mercier. Mercier being able to engage in the grappling, stay out of the submissions that Stevie could offer, and get a decision win for the Canadian gangster.
That's right, man. Go Canada. He's my boy. I love Scotland too, though. Stevie Ray's one of my other favorite fighters, but got to go with my Canadian gangster here, Oliver, all day.
Yep. Next fight, for some reason, they're charging $50 for you to watch Aspen Ladd versus Julia Budd. I'll take Aspen Ladd to wrestle and get a decision because Julia Budd is old and done.
Yeah, this is a showcase fight for Aspen, I think, and yeah, she should just roll here, like dominate.
Yeah, I agree. Delija versus Matthias Scheffel. I will continue to fade Matthias Scheffel. I bet Juan Adams. You think I'm not going to bet Delija, who already knocked him out this year? Of course. Delija by knockout.
Yeah, Delija definitely has faced a better opposition lately, too. He's already knocked him out in April. Let's go Delija.
Next, probably the closest of the championship fights, or one of the closest. Brendan Loch.
One of the best fights for sure on the card.
And one of the best. It's at the top, just under Kayla Harrison, and Brendan Loch versus Bubba Jenkins. Bubba Jenkins puts on the wrestling clinic of his life and survives to the bell to win a 3-2 close split decision.
I'm going with the Englishman, Brendan Loch, but Bubba could pull this off. I see split decision written all over this fight.
Yep. So usually they do prefer the striking and kind of the guy who's going to probably be waving his hands, being like, come on at the end, yelling in the theater. Lochinane probably going to politic well and get that split. I can see it now. Kayla Harrison taking out Larissa Pacheco for the third time. Third time's a charm for Kayla Harrison to get a finish. Kayla Harrison arm triangle.
Yeah, hat trick for Kayla Harrison here. 3 in a row. She's going to dominate unless she gets caught. We've never seen her get caught, so you never know with that if she gets caught, that adversity that she has to face. So yeah,
if only Larissa Pacheco had 40 minutes or so to catch her. Oh wait,
and she hasn't even touched her.
Not even close. So probably a really boring end to your Black Friday with Kayla Harrison just working for 25 minutes. But yeah, I mean, that is the PFL Championship show. Went about an hour here. Decent fights, starting with a weird amateur fight, but I think it's a really good card. I do like the dog. I do like a few dogs in these spots.
I don't think I picked one dog. I don't have one.
You went chalk today.
Yeah. Shaman Moraes isn't even an underdog.
No. So you are in dangerous water. It's picking a chalked PFL card. You can
That's
guarantee MMA Wagers is not going to be perfect. But now you can guarantee he is, or he won't. Who knows?
No.
But hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving out there. This is the only breakdown of the week on the channel. We'll be back next week with the one of the final UFC cards of the year. The UFC from Orlando. I believe we have an LFA next week, maybe even a Bellator.
There's a one on Prime. There's a Unified MMA, an Octagon, and UFC. There's no LFA or Bellator.
Okay, just UFC next week. So we got the whole week to prepare for that. So we'll be back probably Wednesday with that. But happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the state,
Thanksgiving,
wherever you are. Brandon, always appreciate you making the time. And to anybody who's saying he is interrupting, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're making up your minds before. This is a new MMA Wagers. We have worked together for many years, and we will continue to. So take the information you want, leave the rest. That's why I always suggest here. I'm not going to be spot on either. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
I appreciate you, Aaron. You're an awesome host, and you make it easy. So thank you.
Yeah, we're here to have fun and make money. We're not playing each other. We're playing the books. All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Peace.